I'm Damien Fowler.
And I'm Elise Liffrin.
And welcome to this edition of the Current Podcast.
The Current is your deep dive into the future of TV, media, and data-driven marketing, all explained in plain English.
And this week we sit down with Denise Jaeschke, the VP of Integrated Customer Marketing at Zulily, which is an e-commerce direct-to-consumer retailer designed for young mums who are shopping for deals for themselves and their children.
Since it was founded 12 years ago, the company has been known for its online flash sales, which offer daily deals. Anything from wedge boots to a Melissa and Doug's giant floor puzzle. But last September, the e-commerce site shifted to a new sales format with curated branded shops, featuring names such as Lego, Canada Goose, and Nike.
Since she joined Zulily in 2021, Denise has helped build the company's profile as the go-to digital department store for mums, engaging social media and other digital channels.
We started by asking Denise about the new strategy.
So when Zulily started back in 2010, it wasn't the first one to enter into the flash sales model. And we found really early success because we were the first ones to be focused on moms. We find that moms is obviously a huge market, and then they're still the primary decision makers when it comes to household purchases. So we've always been featuring them, focused on them, and something that we do very well with our moms is offering her daily deals so that she can find her favorite brands at the best possible value. So she loved overall that model. And then our retailers also were great partners for us. And we were great partners to them in the sense that we were able to put all their brands in front of the millions of our moms that were our audience. And also because Zulily had the sign-on model, we were able to offer some of the off-price merchandise at a kind of behind a wall per se, so that they could offer those deals in a more discreet way. But we've heard from moms, and the reason for the change is that they wanted more. They love the deals that Zulily had. They love coming to Zulily for the fun shopping, and they kind of found it kind of almost entertainment, right? They would come and kind of browse through some of our merchandising on a daily basis, but they wanted more of it. And that's what kind of prompted some of the changes. And particularly is that we don't just offer the flash model or those daily deals, but we're also now offering her everyday value or kind of a virtual store within the store so they can find their favorite brands every day.
I was just looking at the site and I noticed you had a Lego store, a FitFlop store, a Canada Goose store. Could you just say a little bit more about these virtual brand stores within a store and why that's such an effective format?
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, we're always looking in how to best serve the moms, and they're used to coming to Zulily for those daily deals, and they were able to find their favorite brands sporadically, right? Like today we might have a Lego deal, but then they couldn't find that Lego necessarily for a period of time until we put it again on a daily deal or an exclusive deal just for them. So what we've done is how do we bring more value to her on an everyday basis so that we become more of a staple for her when she's shopping. So it's sort of imagining like if you're in a brick and mortar store and then you have a corner or an area that has your favorite brand. That's sort of what we're mimicking now in the online space. So she can find her daily deals, and usually that's what brings her to the site. It's like, oh my gosh, there's this amazing deal on this brand that I love. But while I'm here, I'm also finding some of these other brands that I traditionally like to shop. I just hadn't necessarily thought of. It helps a lot with some of our moms also when we think of they like Zulily, but sometimes they just can't wait to find a particular item. You know, if I'm a new mom and my kid has outgrown that size and Zulily doesn't have it at the time, or I need a stroller or whatever it might be. Sometimes Zulily didn't have that merchandising available, but now when we have more of this permanent styles and brands, they're able to find those brands at Zulily.
Can you describe a little bit more about what kind of goods you offer?
Our mission is really to have compelling merchandising, compelling offerings, compelling product to moms to support her through experiences and holidays and all the occasions that the moms are always focused on. We offer a wide selection of everyday essentials and even budget-friendly basics, from clothing to footwear, toys, electronics, home goods, and so much more.
Can you talk a little bit about the kind of consumer market research you conduct to find out what moms actually want?
So for us, the customer comes first. And what we found is that after the pandemic, the way the moms shop had changed. And just the retail environment, even though it's consistent in some ways, had changed in a lot of other ways. And even the nature of mom, we knew through the media that she was feeling a lot of pressure, not only to continue to work remotely, but then they took additional responsibilities. So we went back to really rediscover what are some of the mom truths in today's environment. Did a lot of research within our own data to understand who was shopping at Zulily, who were those return customers, what did they love about Zulily, and then also then expanded with outside research, considering customer focus groups. Then we follow up with more one-on-one interviews, and really to kind of go in depth of how we can optimize some of our offerings to deliver more value for her.
Mum truths, I really love that. Could you tell us a bit more about these mum truths and what you learned from these focus groups?
Mom is under a lot of pressure. We found out like a lot of them kind of fight the stereotype of being the perfect mom, and they think that that's a little outdated, but they still, 9 out of 10 actually still feel the pressure to be perfect. And they want to be an involved parent and want to be physically active, and they want to be successful in their careers and support their family. And we just wanted to make it easier for her. It's like, how do we make it easier? How do we make sure that this becomes fun so that she doesn't go shopping with this long to-do list, and also saving a little money so she can still have some of it for herself? Something that we do really well is giving her value on those top tier brands. Sometimes we found that they were a little bit hidden. We had like 100 events a day. And it's like, how do we find that so it's personalized to what she shopped in the past, but still is relevant in today's world? We worked a bit on the prioritization of those brands, looked at our personalization algorithms to make sure that what was surfacing for her was actually relevant to her, and continued to optimize that. And we removed our sign-on modal. This was kind of revolutionary for us because we've always had that, for 12 years, we've always had in that signing modal. So we removed the pressure to sign in so that she can still browse the deals without having to create an account. We started offering free shipping with minimum purchases, and we simplify our return process. We just knew that these were non-negotiables for her and quickly reacted to make those changes.
I noticed that, you mix sort of merchandise for mums with merchandise for kids. So, for example, if I was on the Nike store, there's like Nike hoodies for your 12-year-old boy, and then there's sort of, sweatpants for mom.
Yeah, it is very deliberate. When we think of moms, and I always give this example, like for all the moms, and we talk about this, if we ever go to a store, even though we may be going into the store to look for something for ourselves, as a parent, you always stop by and see, oh, I wonder what's there for my kids. I always stop by the kids section. I have 3 kids myself. And that's something that we try to mimic on our stores. It's like, here's something for you, something for your kids. So that one, for us, it's good because it's more fun. And then it's always so nice for moms. They feel rewarded when they find that special thing for the kids. Increases, obviously, from a business side, our purchase size. And overall, there's just more of that sense of discovery. I may be looking for this, but I kind of bump into other things through that shopping experience. So for us, it's deliberate. It's always thinking of her and her mindset and matching that through our online experience.
As I was browsing, I was wondering, did dads go on this store? What does the dad data say? Or is it really, a mom-centric marketplace?
It's mostly a mom-centric marketplace. Our dad size, it's pretty small. We don't get a whole lot of dads. There are some, and we do have some great deals for dad as well. But I think that the way that we market, the way that we target our audience, and even the merchandise that we have primarily focuses on the female shopper and her family.
And just to follow up on that market research, I think the study you did in 2021 said that 71% of mums define themselves as planners, and they say they shop as early as possible. I mean, that's a very significant stat. And I can testify that my wife and mother of our 2 boys is definitely the CEO of the household and is a consummate planner. So that's an interesting insight to me, and I'm sure it must help structure in some ways how you think about marketing.
It absolutely does. I think something that's unique about Zulily is that we're not necessarily a site where our shoppers come with a shopping list. they have learned to come to Zulily to stay one step ahead of the list. We're usually featuring deals and items a little bit before the rest of the retailers and are offering them early so that the moms can get it early. And that's kind of a bit of the Zulily magic, is creating that sense of discovery, curating high quality items, and just really anticipating her wants and needs before she does. It's sort of like, hey, summer's coming. Let's make sure that we have that summer merchandise early so she can discover it before, the kid's like, hey, I need another pair of shorts and I don't have it and it's warm outside. Always trying to help her find those deals early and start promoting some of those things even earlier than a lot of our competitors.
Now, I know as a D2C brand, you rely heavily on building your own social media channels, but how important would you say are influencers and having those other outside experts like back your brand?
The way people interact with brands today is changing. I think I read a stat today that for Gen Z, their attention span is like 1 second. If you don't get their attention in 1 second, you're not getting their attention. So we just continue to shift in some channels away from that long form content to more snackable content. And mom influencers are just great at that. Since in the last year, we've grown our influencer network by almost 400%. And we work with over 1,500 influencers today. And it works really well for us because of our daily deals. So we're able to continue to offer fresh offers to our mom influencers so that they can then, of course, share the great deals and the great news with their followers and their audiences. So it's a channel that we continue to grow and develop. 93% of moms are on Instagram at least once a week, and a lot of the TikTok users are moms. It's like a great partnership between us and then all the mom influencers that we have on our network.
Amazing. And I know there's a wide range of influencer types out there. Do you primarily work with like macro influencers, micro influencers, bloggers?
Primarily a mix. Usually between 100 and 500,000 followers has been some of our sweet spot, but we're not exclusively working with them. I would say we have not necessarily done the big celebrity partnerships at this time, because we're seeing a lot of the macro influencers have a much more loyal audience and follower. And that just continues to be where we can engage more frequently and kind of build their partnerships and even experiment with some of them creating their own events at Zulily. So we've had great success with them kind of curating their own merchandise and having a influencer specific event on Zulily. And that usually works really well for us because it's sort of meeting what they're interested in, who they are with their audience and followers overall.
What other channels would you say are part of your media mix?
As all marketers are, we continue to experiment, measure, and continue to optimize. We've always had a very strong paid marketing presence. You'll see us invest more on paid search and Google Shopping, particularly now that we have everyday merchandising, not just our flash deals. And then we'll continue to invest in brand media. We just launched a new campaign with our new value proposition and our new positioning, and we'll be kind of amplifying that campaign through YouTube, CTV, and even moving back to linear TV and terrestrial radio, because we just see the ability for us to reach the mom wherever she might be.
And are there any particular channels that mums might be, favored by mums, podcasts, for example, certain shows?
Yeah. So to podcasts in particular, yes. I think we've had limited data for us, for Zulily. I know there's lots of data out there, but we hadn't tested into that channel a whole lot. But mom is there. They're listening to it when they're driving, on their walks, and just throughout their day. So definitely going more into podcasts and TikTok. It's, again, I would say it's a newer channel for us. Also increasing our investment in TikTok and really following our audience with our marketing tactics. Right now, we just started experimenting and trying to figure out how we partner with content creators so that we have content that is relevant and just makes sense on that channel. So that's probably one of the channels that we have the most learnings coming up as we continue to experiment between brand media within it and conversion media also within the channel.
And overall, I guess, how do you make shopping fun? Whenever I'm having like a bad day, shopping always seems to work for me. How do you keep that feeling just as exciting?
Yeah, for moms today, I think shopping is just dominated by the pressure of the to-do list, the budgets, and I need to get this now. So for us, we try to offer a different kind of shopping experience in the sense that we want to free moms from that to-do list. And she knows that she can browse Zulily when she's in that carpool line or when the basketball game is in the halftime and kind of find the freshest, newest deal on her favorite brands and some of the best on-trend styles. And it's just it's quick. You kind of look through it, you see what's on Zulily, you discover something new, and you add it to your basket if that's of interest. So it's really quick, list-free shopping and highly curated inventory. So that's sort of kind of where we play.
Denise, now, if I could ask you something about your own career a little bit. I know you joined Zulily in 2021, if that's right. And after several years at other companies, including Real Self, which I understand is a healthcare marketplace. And then you were at Starbucks and Kraft. And what was that transition like coming from that world into this world?
Yeah, I'm loving this world. I think before I worked at Kraft and Starbucks, I had spent a lot of time in consulting, and I was primarily serving Fortune 500 companies. So I had spent over 15 years in companies that were well-established, great processes, lots of resources before jumping into the startup world. I worked at this company called Talking Rain, which was an amazing growth success story, and then into Real Self. But I think the primary thing from those experiences was that I got to flex different muscles, particularly being scrappy, the speed, the creativity. How do we solve these problems in an efficient way? And something that I loved about those experiences was the opportunity to build the teams from scratch and creating a culture from scratch for marketing for the first time in those instances. But when the Zulily opportunity came across, it was super interesting to me for a lot of different reasons. The size of the company was really exciting to me. It wasn't a startup. It was already a public company, but it was still very nimble and agile. And I could see that I could impact the work. And this role had the right mix of strategy, creative, and analytics, which is really my sweet spot. And I just saw that the business had a lot of opportunity for change. There was an appetite to look at the way we're doing things and disrupting it. And I just felt very well prepared to do this. And it's kind of hard not to mention, I just really like the customer story. I grew up in South America. My mom was extremely frugal. The brands were so important, especially as a teenager. And I think Zulily does this really well in the sense of offering those favorite brands at a great price, which is a story that resonates with me. And I love shopping for my kids at Zulily for that same reason.
Consumers are anxious a little bit about their budgets, given what's going on in the world. Inflation being top of mind. I suppose being able to offer the value shopper something is a significant part of your appeal. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think it's accurate. I mean, we're seeing the U.S. household income has declined for the first time since 2011. And we add that pressure that mom feels to shop for her family, to shop for herself. And I think Zulily, it's just very well positioned to offer that value for herself, for her family, and everyone that she shops. And I hope that we continue to deliver that. And I know we work really hard to deliver on that promise to our customers.
And that's it for Season 4 of The Current. It's been fun. We'll see you later this year for Season 5 when we bring you more insights from marketing leaders.
The Current is a production of Wonder Media Network. Our theme is by Levin Caliber. The Trade Desk team includes Cassie Crosby, Yvonne Sikic, and Kat Fessy. And remember,
we're always evolving. We'll continue to diversify our marketing mix to make sure that we're reaching our customers, and we'll continue to work really hard to bring the top brands to Zulily. That's kind of our promise to customers, and we'll continue to build those partnerships with our kind of partner brands to make sure that mom has everything that she needs on our site.
I'm Damien.
And I'm Elise.
And we'll see you soon.